The statement that was made in the last session was that an unexpected resignation of the chief financial officer had just happened. And we were in the process of trying to verify the financial report for the airport and its district. And in situations that are standard when the unexpected resignation of the chief financial officer is that the board immediately started an outside audit so that we can have an outside agency verify and bring up to date and correct any inaccuracies that are made in the report. And that's really standard practices. And that audit, as we sit here then and we sit here today, is in process. And we hope to have that completed, ready for the next scheduled meeting of this board, which is on the 18th, I believe.
Chairman and members of the community, that the audit team was here last week, last 3 weeks, kind of running together. We had a date, I think, for a preliminary draft report yesterday, and that was canceled due to one of the auditors had a family emergency, and so they're going to be in here, I believe it's 10 o'clock Friday, to give us a quick look debrief. Concurrent with that, staff has been going through all of our bank statements and LAIF accounts and transactions to come up with a mid-year update, which mid-year, a little past mid-year, and I think we're getting our arms around that. We should have that ready for you on the 18th as well. Our goal is to have an accurate aging account ready for board presentation. That's our goal. And anything else? I think that's it. But again, the district is solvent. We're paying our bills. We're just having an admin meeting to write checks, and they're ready to go. And I ask your approval.
Yes, and I want to also congratulate the team for digging in to try to verify where we actually stand. And they've been working overtime, a lot of hard hours, and I want to express our appreciation for a job well done. And we can expect as good accounting as we can get on the 18th. Thank you very much.
The mini mart at the corner of 90th and Rosamond Boulevard has been closed because of a liver transplant. The owner and the daughter both took sick at the same time, and there was no one to run the store. But next week, it will be open, and the increased traffic out here has made it a very convenient stop for a lot of people. So I just talked to the owner, and she said next week it'll probably be open and back in business.
So this was presented to the Water Projects Committee last Thursday, about 25 slides, and we got the reports and stacked them up on the table, and we spent close to 2 hours. I cut it back in half, and I can do it in 15 minutes or 20. It's up to you guys as to how many questions you have. The outlines for the presentation is I want to give you a summary or an overview of the preliminary design. And I want to point out that there's this new pump back feature that wasn't in the project when it was conceived back a year or two ago. And that will increase the dry year production, and I'll explain why and how much. I want to give you the highlights of the groundwater model results that we've evaluated, and then a capital cost update. I also want to highlight the value of the surplus water. So we pump back to these springs, we pump extra water out of the groundwater bank in dry years. There's a value to that which we can estimate over time. And then, since we performed the SEQA initial study, we have a draft mitigating lake deck to go out to public review. We're here to get your approval to issue that document to the public later this week or next week for a 30-day review period. I want to go over the project schedule and then talk about the next steps, which is the design and the bid assistance phase, so that we can proceed with that portion of the project. And there's a recommendation for the board. So with that, this diagram shows plan view north to the top of the page. And what it shows along the bottom, if you will, is the East Branch. And on the left is 96th Street, and on the right is 116th. So the property shown in the upper left is the 80 acres that you purchased for construction of the water bank. In order to deliver water to the bank, we would take it out to our existing turnout with modifications. And from that turnout, we would run a pipeline, 20 or 24-inch pipeline down 96th Street and over to the project site. The project will have 3 recharge basins, and I'll show you more details of that on the next slide, and 4 wells. Those wells will pump water out, potable groundwater, which can then go approximately 2 miles through a 20-inch diameter pipeline over to the Eastside treatment plant and into the Clearwater. This water can supplement production from the Eastside treatment plant or completely replace at any time you like the production from the Eastside treatment plant. And by substitution for a quarter, you can run lower THMs, you can lower your annual average and help meet EDP regulations. Anytime that the water quality in these branches is poor, you can trigger yourselves to switch supply, so you have an alternative supply. Plus you have a water bank that can provide water in dry years like this year, if you have been banking in this project as you have in your other. So that's an overview of the layout. And so if we take the project site on the top left and we tip it on its side so it fits on the page better, you have this diagram.
Hey,
So
come
now
on in,
north
it's okay.
is to the left. And the street on the right, so it goes in front of Scategliella Farms, it's Avenue U, and it turns into a dirt road in front of the site. So again, in the middle of the site, we're talking about, is this actually a point?
You have to use the mouse.
All right. So these are 3 recharge basins, and they actually sort of staircase down the hill about 7 feet each because the site is slope sided. They're cut and filled, nearly balanced earthwork. Basically, they're infiltration ponds. So by delivering the water to the site from the East Branch Canal by gravity, it actually goes into a box, which we call a splitter box. And then your operations folks can deliver the water to any one or all of the basins at any given time. And each basin is designed to take the full flow, so you basically have a spare or 2 depending upon the infiltration rates.
So, stress fracture, and you put the boot on so that it feels better.
Yeah.
And it does? It does feel better? And you got the full boot.
I've had the torn.
You look like the walking wounded here in Rosamond.
I've had a torn
Achilles tendon.
stress fracture since 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did you get it?
Down to find me.
Yeah.
Probably going up and down the stairs at the mausoleum
Oh, yeah. Could be.
when I worked there.
But it's doesn't last too long, I hope.
No, I'll wear it for a week or so, and then it'll
Be gone.
ease up, and then maybe in 6 months, maybe
Yeah.
a year or 2.
You're not wearing it just for sympathy because it's
No.
Lent now and everybody should be
No,
good. No.
I don't like wearing it.